30 years of experience in New England Regional Theater and New York Theater. And he's got this, this is part of his program, Keeping History Alive series. And some of the other historical figures are Mark Twain and Clarence Darrow, John Barrymore, and William Shakespeare. And if you like it, maybe we'll get some of them sometime. His shows are based on biographies and autobiographies, personal letters. He puts a huge amount of work into it. A lot of people have seen him other times, and they're here because of that. Today's show is an examination of the extraordinary life of a man who rose from his humble beginnings in Scotland to become the King of Steel and the richest man in the world. Andrew Carnegie was a man of contradictions, a living embodiment of Darwin's survival of the fittest. He was called the greediest little devil that ever lived, yet he also gave away billions to build thousands of public libraries. And Rhode Island is one of only 2 states, Delaware is the other one, without a Carnegie Public Library. So please join me in welcoming Richard Clark as Mr. Andrew Carnegie.
Thank you for that rather lackluster round of encouragement. If you'd made less noise, I'd be afraid I'd taken a wrong turn and ended up at a prayer meeting in a Trappist monastery. You didn't hurt yourselves with that effort. Everybody gave up so soon, though. Actually, you made me feel pretty good. And so I'm feeling so champion right now, there's a poem bubbling up on the inside. There's nothing so rare as a day in June and drinks on the house in a Scottish saloon. Well, the librarian has told you so much about me, I don't think there's anything more for me to do, so I'll just stand here and sign autographs. It's a romantic town standing on high ground overlooking the sea, with Edinburgh in the view to the south and a mountain range to the north. Made me conscious of a mighty past when Dunfermline was both politically and culturally the capital of Scotland. My schooling was in a private classroom, what you might call public school. 150 children of all ages in one large room. The teacher, Mr. Martin, kept order, well, as best he could, with a leather strap. But despite that kind of discipline, I remember him as being the very first great man that I ever knew. I pushed myself to the utmost for him, and I was branded teacher's pet. The first penny I ever earned outside my home was from Mr. Martin for reciting a selection from the poet Robert Burns entitled, "Man Was Made to Mourn." Interestingly, I spent most of my life trying to dispel that very notion. After Father's death, Mother and I became inseparable. She would go on to guide and support me all her life. I vowed I would never marry while she was alive. Not that I didn't enjoy the company of the opposite sex. Oh, I led a full and active social life in the company of both men and women. I continued skating on the river, reading plays, participating in weekly choir sessions. The debating club continued where I espoused my radical views. I was a fierce abolitionist. I supported the new Republican Party formed in opposition to slavery. I wrote a passionate anti-slavery editorial, had it published in Horace Greeley's New York Tribune. Regarding religion, I was a skeptic. Like my mother, I could support no church. I believed in American democracy and its freedom from inherited privilege. As I lived, it was my first penny of revenue from capital, something I hadn't had to work for by the sweat of my brow. This was the goose that laid the golden eggs. My next investment, made with a loan, mind you, of just a few $1,000s, was in the stock of the Woodruff Sleeping Car Company. Within 2 years, this stock paid me, in your values, better than $750,000 a year in dividends. And I hadn't spent one single dollar of my own. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the magic of capitalism.